Hey everybody, it's been a long 2 weeks while we were letting the meta sort out. There was nothing going on, no decks that were brand new in those 2 weeks, so we didn't do a video, but now we're back because Whizbang Workshop came out. The cool thing is all of the decks so far seem to be pretty good and pretty cheap, and listen, it's fun not seeing Rogue all the way up there high on the win rates. I'm kidding. So yeah, listen, Paladin, Hunter, Demon Hunter finally. Demon went from last place to number 3 super quick, like within a matter of 4 days. So that's very cool there. Warlock is not way high. And then Warrior is moving up and down a little bit. But there are decks for Warrior and all these other classes that are above 50% win rate. But we're going to talk about a few of those right now in this video. Before we do that, I wanted to look at the win rates really quick in terms of the class meta right now. Plague is strong. Rainbow Death Knight is strong. Rainbow Handbuff? Yeah, that's a Handbuff Death Knight. Handbuff is the name of the game right now. It's pretty cool. Demon Hunter has that tempo Demon Hunter. There's some aggro movements happening for Demon Hunter. Druid is not that great right now. Highlander Druid is the only thing that's doing anything right now. The rest of them are not that great. And while it's really early, super early in the meta right now, I see Druid not being super crazy high. Hunter's very good across the board. Not only is Hunter really good, but also Hunter is the cheapest as it's ever been to play in terms of dust. When we were at the end of this last meta clip, it was like 20,000 for each deck, like in terms of dust. And now it's not as bad as it was. Mage only has Elemental Mage right now. Rainbow and Spell is not doing that great. Give it time to season, and we should see some okay things from Mage. Paladin is just crazy. I've mentioned it several times now since Whizbang's Workshop came out. Paladin is just broken. I would imagine if they're going to make any changes to some of the cards, the first ones they're going to hit is some of the Paladin cards. Absolutely. But you have so much to choose from. Handbuff, Aggro, Highlander, Flood, Aura. You've got it all. And the cool thing is, like I just said a little bit ago, they're cheap. Super cheap. I've got one for you today. Less than 1,000 dust. Top of the win rates. Priest is not doing that great. I joke about Priest all the time, but the last 3 games that I lost have been against Priest, so there's something there. Give it time. I'm sure Priest will find something that will hit above 50%. But with Undead Priest being kind of dead, with Benedictus being out of core, it's not right this moment. Rogue is the same thing. Look at Rogue. Poor Rogue. Rogue has nothing right now. Which is strange because the first day or two of Whizbang's Workshop coming out, I saw some busted things with Rogue. But I don't know if this is just because everybody's playing the other classes or it's just not refined yet. I don't think Rogue will be this low any longer than another week or two. Shaman has a lot of opportunities here with Highlander, Tendril, and Nature. Tendril Shaman looks interesting. I've seen it being played like once or twice. I want to see more of it. Warlock has Wheel, Sludge, and Hand. There was also, I think, a Pain Warlock that did some kind of damage to you, so Warlock is fine. And then Warrior has a couple of decks that you can play. You have Control, you have Highlander, you have Chemical Warrior, excuse me. We will talk about that one today, but first, let's go into something that we didn't think that we were going to see. Tempo Demon Hunter. And this is a really cool deck. This is one that kind of creeps up at you. When I first started seeing it played, I did not know what was going to happen. It's at 2,520 dust, and this win rate is 63.8%. And this is good against, better than some, against Paladins. You have that going for you. And one of the things that you want to remember is you want to remember Saloon Brewmaster, and you want to remember the Raging Fell Screamer, and you want to remember Window Shopper. And the idea is discover a demon, set its stats and cost to this minions, and then go ahead and Saloon Brewmaster. You have Midnight Wolf that you can keep on going through. So the idea is just keep on knocking your opponents off of the board and then building those demons demons and then keep on running those demons again to fight. It's interesting deck. It doesn't look crazy difficult to pilot, and it has quite a bit of good win rates right now. I think the lowest win rate it has against all the classes is Paladin, and listen, Paladin is super strong, so it makes sense. Next up is Secret Hunter, and listen, for us to be able to get a deck in Hunter that's above 50% win rate for less than 18,000 dust, that's very cool. This one is 2,800 dust, and it's a 69.7% win rate, and it is Secret Hunter. So it's just running a bunch of secrets. It's got Ball of Spiders. It's got the new remote control weapon, which is after your hero attacks, summon a 1/1 Hound. RC Rampage, summon 6 1/1 Hounds. These are cool. I really don't like the death voice line of these little hounds. I wish they would kind of change that because it sounds bad to hear all those little puppies die. Anyway, there's also Lesser Spellstone, Lesser Emerald Spellstone. Spellstone, come on, we know what we're talking about here. And then you've got Mantle Shaper to round this out, and then Starstring Bow. So you build a board, you disrupt your opponent with secrets, and then you just start fighting your opponent with the little 1/1s and the 2/1s. And Jungle Gym is a broken card and a fun card. It's deal 1 damage to a random enemy, repeat for each friendly beast. So when you throw that crazy board out there very easily of 1/1s, you've got some damage that you can do with this. That is a fun card. Absolutely keep both of those in your decks. Let's see what else is up. Handbuff Paladin. This is nuts. It's nuts for us to have a 71.8% win rate with 960 dust. Less than the cost of a legendary, you can play the game at a very high competitive level, and it's really cool. This is Handbuff Paladin. So what it's doing is everything that's in your hand, all the minions, you also have instrument tech to draw out the weapon. The weapon that you want to pull is, let's see, where is it? Where is it? I don't see it. Painter's Virtue. This one I thought, okay, yeah, it's an okay weapon. This is a broken weapon. It's a fun weapon. After your hero attacks, give your minions in your hand +1/+1. Nomelia's in here. It's these two Nomelias and Warsong Grunt. This is a fun card, absolutely. And if you buff these in your hand, it's perfect. So also there's Leroy. Leroy has charge. If you put this in your hand, buff it a bunch of times and do all that sort of fun stuff. And then of course you have Deputization Aura. Your leftmost minion has +3 attack and lifesteal. You've got the Tigress plushie. You also have the Trinket Artist to pull a Divine Shield minion and an aura. This is a fun deck for you to be playing. The cool thing is you can do some things with this. There's also a Excavate version. So if you don't have some of these cards, but you have some of the Excavate cards, throw them in. There's some options here. Obviously, you're going to try to work to create big minions and then use them to hit your opponent in the face time and time again and win games. And that's what it's doing. This deck is winning games. Next up, Nature Shaman. Nature Shaman is also another cool one. 1,760 dust with a 65% win rate. This one also, I think the lowest one, most difficult one, this is with the opponents is Warrior, but it's fine. Listen, this is a Nature Shaman deck. It's just a bunch of spells, a bunch of weapons, deal 2 damage, summon 2 0/1 frogs with taunt, so it keeps something on the board. Battle cry the next time you draw a spell, get a copy of it. So you definitely want to use this one. It's just big spells that are going to do a lot of damage. Either it's going to do, let's see, Crash of Thunder, which deals 3 damage to all enemies, or there's Lightning Bolt in here. There's Lightning Reflexes. This one is just pretty much situational based on what you're seeing in board and hand. But look at this also. The popularity of this is going up. The win rate's staying pretty strong. I have a feeling we will be seeing Nature Shaman in some way, shape, or form for quite a bit of time. And then the last up that we're going to talk about today is Chemical Warrior. And at first, when I saw this deck, I have not seen this deck played, but I understand what the deck is supposed to be. It's because of the Chemical Spill. The Chemical Spill spell is summon the highest cost minion from your hand, then deal 5 damage to it. What would be beneficial to hit your the damage to that minion. Let's see. This one, charge, has +6 attack while damaged. So get this in your hand as quickly as possible. You got Containment Unit, which summons a random 8-cost minion. What's 8 cost? Oh, look, maybe a potential to get another Gramage. Testing Dummy, which deal 8 damage randomly split against among all enemies. I saw this one and I was like, okay, yeah, that's a cool card. This is a fun card that's going to cause some trouble. And then it's just got your normal essential warrior spells and warrior deck type text that like pulls things through. One of the things you also have here is safety goggles. I thought this card was broken as well. Gain 6 armor, cost 0 if you don't have any armor. The first time I saw that being played against me, I was like, oh wow, what value in that? So this one is not too difficult, but the cool thing is it's super low cost. It's almost as much as a one legendary minion is to craft, and I feel that each one of these decks that I'm talking about are only going to get stronger as we go through the next couple of weeks. I mean, listen, we're less than a week into the new expansion, so there's a lot of refinement that's going to be made, absolutely. So, as to what you should be crafting right now, I'm going to do a separate video on what I think should happen, like, after the first week. I did make some crafts that I wanted to play from day one, and I'm kind of regretting it at first. So I'm going to put together, my assessment, in terms of if there's one that I could talk about now, Zilliax. Zilliax is probably the highest played card from the new expansion right now. It's no shock as to why, and I have a feeling that it will be that way for a while. It just has so much utility, so much value, so many things that you can play it in, so many decks that you can put it in. I would be shocked. And yes, there has been some other ones that are a little bit of a dud. You thought they were going to be cool during the theory craft and during the other discussion. You thought, hey, that's going to be a perfect day one craft for me. That legendary is going to be amazing. And it wasn't that amazing yet. I might be pleasantly surprised later on. It might be broken as we go. But yeah, like I said, I will go ahead and I will do like a card building suggestion video in the next day or two after a week of the meta has landed. But this is all for this video. Please like and comment and subscribe if you like all the stuff that I'm doing, and I will see you all in the next video.